because he claimed to be the Son of God. When Pilate heard this, he was even more afraid. And he went back inside the palace. "Where do you come from?" he asked Jesus, but Jesus gave him no answer. "Do you refuse to speak to me?" Pilate asked. "Don't you realize I have the power either to free you or to crucify you?" Jesus answered, "You have no power over me that was not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin." From then on, Pilate tried to set Jesus free. But the Jews kept shouting, "If you let this man go, you are no friend of Caesar. Anyone who claims to be king opposes Caesar." When Pilate heard this, he brought Jesus out and sat down on the judge's seat at a place known as the Stone Pavement, which in Aramaic is Gabbatha. It was this day of preparation of the Passover week, about the 6th hour. "Here is your king," Pilate said to the Jews. But they shouted, take him away, crucify him." "Shall I crucify your king?" Pilate asked. "We have no king but Caesar," the chief priests answered. Finally, Pilate handed him over to them to be crucified. Pilate was afraid. He was caught between a rock and a hard place. This man did not deserve death. He knew that he couldn't get away without crucifying them because they used some magic words. "He opposes Caesar." And then they said something that must have really stuck in their throat. Something that most Jewish people would never ever say, and that is, "We have no king but Caesar." Only the high priest said that. In this situation, you have a lot of people that are afraid. You've got the chief priests who are afraid they're going to lose their power and their money. You have Pilate, who's afraid. He doesn't want anything to do with this. You have guards that physically abused Jesus because they've been afraid for years. They've been stationed in Israel, and they know it could erupt any minute. You've got this powder keg of a situation, and the only person that is composed, the only person that is acting in control is Jesus. The only person acting kingly is Jesus. And even when Pilate tries, "I'm going to try to help you," he said, "No. I can crucify you or I can release you." He says, your authority comes from someplace else. This isn't about you. So, who really sentenced Jesus? This is probably the hardest lesson you will ever learn spiritually. You had to sentence Jesus. I had to sentence Jesus. Shall I crucify your king? And when we look at what's at stake here, when we look at what's going on in our life, the only answer we can come up with is, yes. He's the only hope that we have. We sang it. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. We have no other hope. We have no other hope. We have no other reason to expect a relationship with God. We have no other reason to expect forgiveness. We have no other reason at all to expect God's favor. unless Jesus dies. Shall I crucify your king? Yeah. Yes. If you never learn that lesson, you're going to be a spiritual dwarf the rest of your life. You will beg for some kind of justification. You will in pride look for some reason that God ought to accept you. That you're worthy of these things, and you're going to be emotionally and spiritually bankrupt. Until you realize that it's not the high priest, it's not Pilate, it's not the soldiers, it's you. It's you. Until you ask him to make that sacrifice for you. Because of what you did. Because of the thoughts that you have. Because of the things that you didn't do. Or the thoughts that you didn't have. Or because of the way you treated your kids. Or the way you treated your parents. Or the way you treated your neighbor. Or the way you treated your spouse. The way you treated your employer or your employees. Unless you understand, you have no hope without Jesus.
Amen.
You're not going to get what we did this morning. My hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I had to answer this question in my life, and I have to answer it week after week after week. Does it mean that I have to put him through that pain again? No. No. Jesus died once and for all, for you and for me. But unless I make that sentence, unless I ask him to do it for me, unless I understand my need, then none of everything else we do makes sense. Then taking a little piece of bread that represents his body and taking a little bit of juice that represents his blood makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Until you realize that you answered that question. Shall I crucify your king? Yes, I need that sacrifice.